Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll dive into a recent analysis done by TD Bank regarding a potential house shortage in the next 3 years. So before I do this, for those who are new here, my name is Clement. I'm a real estate broker here in the Greater Toronto area. And if you like understanding more information about real estate, and if you find value in this video, just hit the like button and we'll take it from there. So TD Bank is one of the big institutional banks here in Canada, and the reason I chose this article is because it's the vice president and chief economist of TD is the one who went into details about this, and there's some few points that she mentioned in this that I think are very important for us to have a better understanding and understand what is going on right now. The first thing we understand is the shortage of housing by 500,000. Then the next thing is there's 1.2 million immigrants that have come into the country as of last year. Now, the government announced that they want to bring in at least 500,000 new immigrants for the next 2 to 3 years. All these people need to live somebody. It was the same number for last year, or 500,000, but we ended up having 1.2 million immigrants coming into the country. So this definitely creates a huge uncertainty with the economy, and as well as where are all these people going to stay. It creates a shortfall of the houses that are there, and all these people that need to go in and purchase this property, whether they're buying or renting, and this kind of creates this chain of uncertainty that we're currently experiencing at the moment, and I'll break it down for you right now. So what are the factors contributing to this shortage? If we look at the first point, the population growth exceeding housing construction. So we just seen 1.2 million came in, and as of last year, there was around 200 to 250,000 new housing that was brought into the market. That is still way below what is required because of the number of people coming in. At the moment, we have a shortfall of 500,000, which is creating this pumped up demand, even though the interest rates are the way they are, and it's also creating this influx in terms of pricing going as high as they are going on right now. And this is why the Bank of Canada is trying to control this by increasing the interest rates so that the demand does not increase the price tremendously high as well. Then, so the economic conditions affecting construction rates. So these are the development fees. The development fees currently are sitting really high. The labor costs are really high. The material is still high. So all this is regarding the inflation. So all this is playing a huge factor. Then the last point here is the regulatory hurdles impacting new developments. So it takes a long period before, from finding the land to construction to the building being constructed to a family moving in there. So let's say for a condominium building, it will take close to 7 to 8 years. For a detached house, for finding the land, really digging up the land and constructing a house in there, a detached house will take at least a year to a year and a half. I'll say a year. Now, we need to do this for 500 new homes. Last year, we only did 250,000. This year, we're going to bring in 500,000 new immigrants. They'll have to stay somewhere. So this is going to create a pumped up demand in the market, and as you can see at the moment. So this leads me to my next point, the impact on the market. The first point we have on this is increased demand could drive up the price. So this is just economics 101. If the supply is high, demand is low. When the supply is low, demand is really high, and this is where we are. The second point, the rental markets will become more competitive because the demand is high, the prices go up. And the third thing here is possible implications for housing affordability. The government is now trying to control the affordability by increasing the interest rates, so it makes it hard for the average Canadian, the average first-time home buyer to be able to afford this because the interests are so high. But the government is doing this because they don't want to make the purchase price all the way up, so they increase it and it's dropping and it's working. But it's also working in the sense of the affordability for the average Canadian to be able to afford it. And it leads me to my other point, where average Canadian, the first time home buyer, is choosing to just go ahead and rent. Let's look at it as the average price in the Greater Toronto area right now is sitting at $1,118,000. This brings you to a mortgage of around $5,000 to $6,000 there. Now, with the inflation being the way it is, your housing expenses are almost around $1,000. So you're looking at a household expense of close to $6,000 to $7,000 a month. That is not affordable for a lot of average Canadians. That's why you're seeing the rental market going as high as it is right now, because buyers are deciding like, hey, let me just rent for at least a year to 2 years until the interest rates drop down slightly, and I'll be able to come back in the market. But at that time, again, it's going to drive another pent up demand again. But this is really important to understand. The regional disparities is something you have to pay attention to as well, because every micro market is different. So you have to look at the factors that are affecting all this. My big point on this is that some areas might experience a more severe shortage due to local factors. If you are in Oakville looking for a house, a detached house in Oakville, and you're looking for a detached house in Pickering, this is a completely different search criteria you're going to have for a different price range that you're going to have as well. Because Oakville is at a higher price range compared to where Pickering is. If you're looking for something in Toronto, the micro market in Toronto also plays a huge factor depending on where you are. If you're in the CO1 looking for a condo in the CO1 as opposed to looking for a condo in, let's say, W07 or maybe C13, it's going to be a completely different kind of criteria that you're looking at. Your micro search, your micro location plays a huge factor in terms of the pricing as well. So what are some of the things that this article mentioned that are recommendations on what they want to do? So the first thing they have is encouraging increased construction activity. We do need a lot more properties in this market. Even 500,000 is still less than what is required. If last year the government was talking about bringing in at least 500,000 immigrants, we ended up with 1.2 million. As a buyer in this market, it's very key for you to have a better understanding of this. And if you are selling this market and you're really hoping to get the numbers that we received in at the top of 21, and you're waiting for those numbers to get back to that, and then you're almost hurting yourself. You want to really look at your situation, make sure it's very clear and it's good for you to see what is there for you to do. Just a side note, if you are a buyer in this market, just by looking at the numbers that I'm mentioning right now, I would say it's a huge advantage for you to get in the market at the moment, because I know the interest rates are really high. This is only for those who can actually afford the interest rates and the monthly payments. So just look at it and make sure it's good, because right now you're getting a property at the lowest price point as it could be compared to where it was in 2021, 2022. If a point that comes and the interest rate just drop maybe a percentage, if they just drop slightly, it's going to bring a frenzy of buyers into the market. And what is this going to do to the price? It's going to shoot right back up. And this is why the government is trying to control this right now. Canada has a lot of equity in the market, which is helping a lot of, let's say, first-time home buyers and things like this. So it's a huge benefit that's also in the market currently because of the appreciation that has gone on in the past 10 years. And I'll do another video, a deep dive video on this, so that we all have this information. That's it for now. If you found value in this, hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions and you want to dive deep into any of these articles or any of the things that I'm talking about, you could always reach out to me. I have my link where you can book a quick 15 minutes to 5-minute call. I call it a discovery call, and we can just get into it and see what can be done to help you in any endeavors that you might have. But until next time, see you in the next video.